Okay, so this is my screen. So if anyone has anything to say, probably you just unmute yourself and speak because I am using full screen. I won't be able to see your chats. So now this is what, please can you see my screen? I want to be sure that we're on the same page. Can someone please confirm to me that my screen is being seen?
Hello. I think it's quite clear.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Hello.
Okay.
We can see it clearly.
Okay. So now, why is it not moving? Okay. So now, the objective of this training is just like what Temitope said, to secure. She said her expectation is how to secure herself and also secure her data online, which is part of our objectives, to let you know that you have a role to play. So I'm going to expatiate on this. We have three people, as in three, should I put them three parties when it comes to protection of data. We have the individual, we have organizations, and we also have government. Now, truth be told, most organizations are trying their best. I can't talk on behalf of the government, but I can talk on behalf of organizations. They are doing their best to ensure that data of people and customers are secure. But the honest truth is that the the cyberspace is not funny. You know, there are so many attacks here and there. So it's imperative that people are able to know that they have a role to play when it comes to their own security on the internet, and also to inform you of simple tips to protect your finances and accounts. And accounts we mean by the bank accounts, and also your social media accounts. So these are the outlines on which we'll be speaking on today. Blessings of the internet, your digital footprint, safeguarding your assets, conclusion, then questions and answers. So now I will talk about the blessings of the internet. The blessing of the internet, that's the web and the internet, has been a great blessing to the world. We can't quantify how much we have grown over the years, ever since not just with the advent of computer. Yes, the advent of computer helped, but having the web and the internet has changed the landscape of the world. The world is now a global street, and the cost reduction, efficiency, it's a huge plus to us, because what has happened in a few years is much more than what happened maybe from 1700 to even 1900. You can be here and be anywhere at the same time. So it's just like the distance between here to Australia is like how many hours, but I can be in Australia sitting down here in Nigeria. So that's these are the blessings of the internet. However, there was no proper orientation on how to use the internet. Now, there's a driveway called the Autobahn in Germany. It's like kind of free for all kind of driving. You can drive even like a Formula One driver. That's the way it's structured. So it's like someone that doesn't know how to drive. You just carry the person, just give the person maybe even a V8 engine, like a supercar, and say, okay, just go and start driving. You know that the likelihood of that person getting to his or her destination is very slim. So many of us were so excited. I remember when cafes started back then, I mean, we're so excited. We'll be in the cafe, we just want to learn about this new thing, Yahoo Mail, AOL, you understand? I don't know if people understand what I'm saying. It was exciting. It was so exciting, but we were not prepared for the the things that were coming down the line, because I don't think crime has ever happened the way it's happening right now. Because where the internet should have been a blessing to people, we have some, not even just some, we have many people who want to turn the internet into a curse. So I think at this point I would allow the next person to speak. So there's one that I wanted us to know. COVID-19 was a kind of how do I put it? It was a kind of will I call it a leveler? Like it exposed the liabilities or the vulnerabilities of companies, of organizations, because COVID-19, there was a lot of data breach during that COVID-19 era. And just imagine how exposed people are. For example, now one person, for example, let's say like just one person alone, you have a phone, some people have 2 phones, some people have 3 phones, some people have smart watches, you have your smart TV, you understand? Some people on their own, they're already just a person alone. It's just like Internet of Things. You have so many smart devices around you. In fact, there were some countries that the devices now became more than the human beings because they were not, they don't have much population, but they had plenty devices. So just imagine how vulnerable a single person is if that kind of person gets hacked into. So I would advise, a lot of work has gone into preparing for this training. So please, if you have any question, you can just probably raise up your hand. You can raise up your hand, then you'll be asked to unmute, and you can also put it in the chat box. So please, I'll plead with us if we could give this training. We could give it our apt attention. So I would call on the next person. The next person to speak is Mr. Williams Bison. So he will take the next slide. Let me put the next slide to show so here's what he'll be talking about, your digital footprint. This is what he'll be talking about. So Mr. Williams, you have the floor now. Thank you.
Hello, Vicky. Hello, Miss Rebecca.
Hello, Doctor Sir.
Sorry, I came late. I've been trying to get on. I just got connected, just to let you know. I'm in now.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry about the delay. Yeah.
No problem, sir. Okay, so I think Mr. Williams, you can continue.
Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, you can drop a comment. Just drop a comment in the chat section. Drop a message.
Okay, now I can hear you, but you may need to increase your voice.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, good evening, sir. We can hear you, but there's a noise coming from the background. You don't know who's background.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's my background. Are you still getting the noise, or I should probably change where I am?
The noise is still very loud.
Okay. Let me see what I can do about it. So you guys just give me.
Someone is talking at the background. I think that's the challenge. Someone is talking. Okay, sorry, while William is trying to, I'm seeing Akinkumi's hand, Akinkumi Pedro. Please, you want to say something? I can see your hands up. Akikumi Pedro, your hands are up. Oh. Do you want to say something?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
How
Yeah,
is
Mr.
background now?
Are you logged
There's
on
an
with
echo.
two devices? There's an echo. If you are logged on with
Yeah, I
two
get it.
devices, you might need to log out of one.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, how is it better?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. All right. Please, anywhere I'm too fast, you're free to pull my shirt. If you have any question in between, at least myself and other facilitators are here to help out. Good evening once again. My name is Williams. And if you have any question, please feel free to use the comment section, because if all of us on our mics, it will distort the free flow. So we're going to be talking about digital footprint. And I believe all of us here on this seminar are one particular social media platform or the other of use the internet, just like Rebecca said earlier on about the blessing of the internet. It's what makes our day-to-day activity easy. And me sitting here in Northeast Nigeria, probably you're in the west or south, we're getting to communicate. That's one of the beauties of the internet. Then when we talk about digital footprint or digital shadow or an electronic footprint, it refers to trail of data you leave behind whenever you use the internet. A digital shadow or a digital footprint or electronic footprint is a trail of data that you leave behind whenever you use the internet, whenever you surf the net. It includes the visits to websites, blogs, should I say social media platforms, emails, whatever information you input online, you leave data behind, leave traces of data behind. If you're creating a Facebook account, they need some specific data from you, your days of birth, your name, your email, or probably your phone number. That's information you're leaving behind. So also when you're creating an email, more especially Gmail, definitely there are some of this information you leave behind, because a code will be sent to your phone number. That's one of the first things you get. So when that code comes, then you continue the process. Automatically, you're leaving information behind. And there is a part of your profile that allows you to leave a recovery email. So whenever you have any challenge, your reset code for your password will be sent to that email. So you've left a shadow behind, you've left a footprint, either digital or electronic, behind. And when we talk about digital footprints or specific data that are involved, it involves like you making purchase online, signing up for coupons, or creating an account, or requesting for newsletters, or trying to download things online. Definitely you're leaving traces. Now, these traces varies from your name to your likes. When you like something on Facebook, someone will send you a page to like, you get to like, or you probably saw an advert, a sponsor post, and you click on the like. Somebody made a comment and you feel that comment is good, you either drop a like on it. So these are some of the things that are being collected as your demographics, that whenever a particular person wants to sponsor a post, they use this to like advertise on your page, because it's your taste, what you like, what you appreciate, or what you commented about. They pick this bit of information, and it's being taken to a particular place in the internet. Now, when we talk about digital footprints, we have physical, there are many bets. Mostly people talk about 2 to 3. They talk about passive and active. Please, in case you have any questions, you can write in the comment section. Feel free to write in the comment section. Then we get to talk to you about. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, I think Rebecca talked about that in the comment section. Please feel free to ask questions. Then, as you're following, you can let us know how far you're getting insights on what we are teaching. Then now, passive. When we talk about passive digital footprints, it is information that you leave unintended. It's unintentional. Liking a comment, it's information that you didn't intend to give. Probably making a comment on somebody's post wasn't meant for your own profile or meant for your own page. But it doesn't seem as if you wanted to pick that information. But they tend to pick it that, oh, this person liked this thing about what the person said and wrote. Maybe the person talked about food, the person talked about fashion, the person talked about a movie. They know that, okay, this is the kind of movie you like. These things, the developers or the programmers pick them and keep them in the database or keep them a particular part of the web, which we'll talk about very soon. Then active footprints are information that you as an individual shared intentionally, like allowing people to see your real email address, your phone number on your profile, or your date of birth, so they, on your birthday they will celebrate you. You might probably put the date and the month, the day and the month without putting the year. But some people will include the day, the month, and the year, so that your friends can really know when it is your birthday and get to celebrate you. These ones, you left them intentionally. And there are those information, again, you can give, which are personally identifiable. That's information that can be traced to your real name. There are times that you give anonymous information or information that are censored. Then, now, those information that I said you give as your footprints or shadow footprints are being kept in a part of the web, which now we're going to delve into two types of web. We have the surface web and we have the dark web. Surface web is what all of us access every day, which constitutes only about 30% of the internet. What we see every day on Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms is just about 30% of what happens on the internet. Then we equally have the deep web. Deep web is, we equally have the dark web. Deep web is a subset of the dark web. Dark web is a back end. We are always found in the front end with what we see with our eyes or what we click on, what we read with. We don't know what happened at the back end. Now that back end is where developers, both people that are developing positively and negatively, operate. Surface web, as I said earlier, is what we click and get, what we see with our eyes, what is clickable, what is readable when we search, when we make search. Then the process of it bringing us that result happens in the dark web. That dark web has a subset called the deep web. Now the dark web is the back end where programmers stay. And that is where most of the footprints that we leave for the surface web is being kept. Now, this is where our information is being sold or it's being used against us by hackers. Developers store it there, which are the databases, but it can also be accessed by hackers. That's what they use to send us funny messages, messages that can lead us astray, or they use it to scam us or use it to steal our basic information and our data. Then now the deep web is where certain activities take place, and it's a very, very secure platform where anybody can get in, but when you get in, you're getting in at your own risk, just like where an organization will say cars are packed at owner risk. Now you don't just go there with a normal browser, you need specific browsers that can get there, or you need specific VPNs, because that's where everybody tries to hide their identity when they go. That's where a lot of crime takes place. That is where your information can be attacked or stolen anytime by hackers. And basic things that happen there is that's where communication, encrypted communication takes place. Now, one of the first people to build that platform was the US government in order to communicate within the government parastatal so that information cannot be out there, especially their Marine and their Navy SEALs. That's where they used to encrypt their information, because information there is mostly encrypted. And they try as much as possible for no one to get access. But sometimes people breach it. some hackers that are very good preaching, and they use things like NordVPN, or they use Tor browser, that it's an onion browser or the onion router. That's what it's used for. And these people that designed this one, they have their own ways of equally making money. Please, I don't know whether anybody has any question, or I'm being too fast, or I'm taking too much, fully. Let me get feedback. Hello.
I'm not seeing anything on the chat for now.
Okay, but we are following, right? I need to see comments, so I want to know whether everybody is following.
Following you.
So go ahead.
Okay. All right, I thought I should be calling names so that we know what everybody is following. Okay, now let's go. I believe you guys we're on the same page, so that I can proceed.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right, now let's talk about digital footprints being deleted, if you can delete them or if you can remove them from online. Yes, there's a way you can remove, but you can't possibly remove everything completely, because some of the data you put online are already in the dark web. So getting to delete them is near difficult. So the best thing for you to prevent leaving footprint behind is, sometimes when you get to cafes like Beckett,
Can't hear you again.
information that you can look back to someone tracing you, learn not to leave it behind. Then learn how to follow the correct links. When people send you links, you don't just click on links, because some of the links can be phishing links, whereby you can get to sell out, or you can get to really give out your information, which is going to be detrimental to you, which your document can be stolen, which people can get access to you, get to know your real address, or get your social security numbers, or get very valuable information about you. Then now, who are these people that are targeting you to get your information? They are basically hackers. And what do? They are professionals that their number one target is to break into systems. It could be a system that's connected online or offline. It could be a computer device. It could be your phone. It could be your smart TV at home. It could be your that's your security camera. They try as much as possible to break into any device they can have access to. Sometimes they can try to crack into that system using internet connection, or whether the system is not even connected to the internet. They try as much as possible to break into it. Then when we come to these hackers, they are ethical hackers and unethical hackers. That's the first basic two types that we have. So ethical hackers are professionals that do hacking legally. They are given the legal license to do. First of all, they are either employed to do that by an organization or by a government, to either test the security system against possible unethical hackers. Then now, when we're talking of these hackers, the ethical hackers are known as the white hat hackers, while the unethical are known as black hat hackers. Ethical hackers mostly do something like troubleshooting, trying to find loopholes or the security standard, whether a system is impenetrable. Some of them can do that willingly to report it to the organization that the system has loopholes. So we've been able to find loopholes. So this organization is now supposed to build up or employ them to cover those backdoors that hackers could use to penetrate, to either steal information or to split or tamper with the information or modify the information to their own test, just to backlash the organization. Then they are also in a situation whereby they get these loopholes and report crime activities to the government or to government agencies that are in charge of combating crime. Let's say an ethical hacker drop into a system that knows that it's a security threat and reports to the SSS or GSS or SARS to avert a particular crime that's about taking place. Then the black hat hackers, what they do is They can equally be higher. So like tamper with an organization's security or their database to get to send malicious attack. The difference between the two of them is white hats are mostly employed to do something positive, while black hats are employed to do a negative act. Black hats are employed to destroy a system or put malicious devices, ransomwares, or hold someone ransom is to hijack a particular system, while white hats are employed to check the security stability. Then we have a particular type known as gray hat hackers, which is an intermediate between the two. They do things similar to the two sets, but they are equally paid a minimal amount, not much like white hat hackers, but they checkmate the two processes. And them too, basically, they are the ones that mostly report to the government or security agencies at a minimal amount. They try as much as possible to check the security features of every system, if it's penetratable or not. So it's always advisable for an organization or for a person that want a high level of security. It's better you get a white hat hacker that can help you try to beat all the corners of the system to provide you with adequate security. I believe we are following. Please, if you have any question, you can ask. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. I'm here to answer, and my other colleagues can also do well to answer. All right, one of the major ways for you to operate effectively and try as much as possible to protect your identity is whenever you have old email accounts that you're not using, please take them off the net. If you know you're no more using, take them off the net. Then be mindful of certain sites you go into, you log into. Learn how to hide your information. Learn how to work on certain browsers on incognito mode, that's private mode. It's not everything about yourself that you should let out there. Then, like I said, shut down every email account you're not using. Then learn how to use VPN sometimes. So at least, there are VPNs that don't give you exact location, so it helps. And it's not every platform that you drop sensitive information like your phone number, you use your ATM card and begin to drop vital information about you. So avoid certain platforms like leaving information on Google, Bing, or Yahoo. Then learn how to hide your IP address and location, as I said earlier on. Then some platforms, please, you can go on as anonymous. Like during the NSAS protest, you remember there were so many anonymous accounts that were on social media platforms, which drop revealing information. But it would be if you drop information that they can trace you, it wouldn't be funny. You'd be surprised on how many people come to your house or how many people try to cyberbully you. So as much as possible, try and be careful. And some of us that shop online, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, this is where it's not all your information that you should be able to drop online. I believe I've been able to do some justice, but wherever you're not okay, please get to ask so that I can give my other colleagues time to do their own presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if anyone has any questions at this point. Okay, I would appreciate if you can make.
Hi, Rebecca.
Yes, sir.
It's just a kind suggestion. We need to know what duration is given to each speaker so we can know when we're rounding up. Otherwise, some of us may just get tired and go out.
Yes.
And then secondly, I was thinking that probably at the end, one may have a few contributions to make, just
Okay.
in case we not in some details. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's noted. Okay, so I wanted it not to be, I didn't want it to be more than 1.5 hour. That's by 8:30 we should be done. So, but we didn't start on time because we waited for more people to join. So I think we'll just move to the next segment, but I'll do a quick recap of where we have been so far for the benefit of those that joined late. I got some chats that some people had issues joining. So I'll just use 2 minutes to recap. So what we basically spoke about was everyone having a role to play in their own security, because we know that yes, organizations are trying their best to ensure that your data, your information is secure. But I believe in safety first. Everybody should know how to secure their own assets online. Then we also spoke about the blessings of the internet. The internet has been a blessing to the world. However, the onslaught of cyber criminals has not been funny. So we just need to take note of that. And that's the reason for this short webinar we are having. Then Williams also spoke about digital footprint. The digital footprint is that immediately you have an email account or you have a social media account, you have registered your presence online. So, and that was why he spoke about deep end, dark end, and surface end. So he spoke about us knowing that you only see, for example, now you see gmail.com, you sign up, you put in your information there. That's where it ends. But there's a place that warehouses those credentials that you don't know and you don't have access to, except maybe you have Tor browser, or there's some trainings that they give to people that they're able to access such things. And those information, apart from being available to your ISP, to the platform that is involved, maybe Google and all that, hackers need that information and they have access to that information. So that's why we are trying to teach people how to be secure. So that brings us to the next point now. The next point that we are going to now is techniques that are used by hackers. So I'll be sharing my screen quickly. I will watch this as quick as possible, but please, I like this to be an interactive session, because everybody is just silent. You don't know whether you understand, or maybe the English is too much. Please, it will be important. It's very important that we hear from everybody. So now these are the techniques now. It's not limited to this. I just summarized it here. So now the goal of a hacker or a cyber criminal is to steal your identity. For example, now, when someone's Facebook gets hacked, and I want to say something, there's one I've observed recently. Most times when people celebrate their birthdays, the next thing, bam, they're taking over the person's account. Now, what do? They impersonate you. You see them posting Opta FX investment or this investment. So now, you that is the real owner of the account, you are not the one posting it. Someone else has taken your identity and is posting on your behalf. You see where sometimes you inbox some people requesting for funds, but it's not you. So they do that, they steal people's identity, they steal people's money, and then sometimes these people, there are some hackers who specifically hack with the purpose of killing that person because they want to know the person's location. Some do it to kidnap for ransom. I believe most of us are aware of what happened with Bet Nigeria, where they took over Bet Nigeria and they're requesting for ransom. So that is a very, very classic case of hacking. So now these are the methods that they make use of. I'm not going to go into all this because we're not here to explain the terminologies and all that, but I'll just make a quick run through. We have phishing, which is social engineering. Now I'm going to give you I'm going to do something quickly here. Now this is a site that we use to, okay, now wait, before I start, let me do a disclaimer. Whatever I'm showing you here is not like, just like what he said, there's a black hat and there's a white hat. There are those that use hacking for bad purposes. There are those that use hacking for ethical purposes. They are called ethical hackers. So we learn this information not because we want to come and hack people. It's just so that we can know, they said you set a thief to catch a thief. So that's the purpose. So what I'm showing here, is a disclaimer. Anybody that uses it for anything, the person is on his own. So now, what these people do now, like this site I'm showing now, it's a form of social engineering. Like I want to create a link, but I might not be able to follow it through because this system is restricted. I can't click on any social media site on this system, but I'm just going to give a glimpse of how it works. So now, this is it. You can see www.facebook.com. So now what I'm supposed to do now is that I'm telling the site that give me a site that looks just like Facebook, such that if someone sees the link, it looks like Facebook. But when they click on the link, it will take them to another site. So there are some mails that we get, there are some links we click on, and once—
excuse me, please. The screen is not moving.
Okay,
Excuse me, please. Your screen is not moving.
Okay, I'm stagnant. I'm stagnant in a place. I'm not doing much. Okay, can you see it moving now?
Yeah. Okay, the screen is not moving.
Okay, but what about now?
No, it's just showing types of hackers something now.
Okay, I'm thinking
No,
it's
I don't know about others, but for me, I'm not seeing the screen moving.
Okay,
No, I think, madam, you're right. We're still looking at
Okay.
types of hackers, the black hat bad guys and the white hat good guys. That's what we're seeing actually in your slides.
Okay, let me stop
Yes.
sharing and restart. I will start sharing again now. I'm sharing again.
Okay.
Okay, please confirm that you can see my Chrome browser.
That's fine now.
Okay, okay. So now this is an attack. This is where we create a phishing link. I'm just giving it as an example. So now we want to create a link that looks just like facebook.com. So when it comes to you, when it comes to the victim, the person that we are planning to attack.
Okay, now
Okay, it's fine. So now when it comes to the person that we are planning to attack, this is how it comes. It looks just exactly like Facebook link. However, if that person clicks on it, you understand, it will redirect that person. Now, let's say I'm the hacker. I send it to a victim. The person clicks on it. Anything that person imputes, whatever that person puts, his name and his password, it just comes directly to me. I will see everything just like white paper. This is one of the, this thing works like magic. So what I just do is just to sit back, relax, and then whatever the person does, just for me to go to the right site, impute the same thing, and voila, I've taken over that person's account. So now there is a site that we make use of. Anytime you see something that you are not sure of, I'm trying to show you. You take note of these sites, virustotal.com. Any file that you see that you're not sure of, you click, you can put it here. Like now on this my screen here, this is a virus. I won't click on it because I dare not. But this is it's a code. It's not a complete code, but however, I purposely didn't put the complete code here. So now you can upload something like this on this site. You put it here, anything you are not sure of, because it's possible to save this thing and send it to you as a picture. I'm not going into other details because this is a very short course. It's possible to. Okay, sorry, can you see my screen?
Yeah, on virus total, aren't you?
You can see my desktop, right?
Virus total.
Yes. Yes,
The
you can see. Virus total.
Wow. Okay.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, sir, I can hear you. It's like
Yeah,
this
displaying
thing.
virus total web page.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to, okay, let me just So what I was saying was that, where is the Google here? Okay. What I was trying to say is that when you are faced with any kind of link, you come here to quickly check and know whether it's viable or not. I will still share this link for everybody so that you can have them at your disposal. So now, quickly let me show this. Can you see my screen? I'm showing the difference between a programmer and a hacker.
No, it has not changed. I think you're looking at a different desktop. Are you using two systems there?
No, I'm not. I think this, it's like this thing selects, it's like what you select is what it will show. If you move to something else, it will not, probably it's me that doesn't know how to.
When you're sharing the screen, how many desktops do you see there?
Just
that's fine. You're coming back to your slide now. That's fine.
Okay, so now this is the difference between a programmer and a hacker. I'm not going to go into all these, but a programmer has his own job. The hacker has his own job. But most hackers and all hackers are programmers because they need to have a background knowledge. So the people that you are dealing with, do you understand? People you are dealing with, you have to know their character. Why are they doing what they are doing? So I come to this now. I've already mentioned this earlier. Then we have what we call brute force attack. We have what we call, let me move to the next slide. Now, I was going to say something now. The major access that hackers make use of is your password. Major. There are other means of hacking, but that is the major, that's like the icebreaker when it comes to hacking. Now, we have the most common use password, 123 ABC. Do you understand? In fact, they are so specialized that they use permutations, like how do I want to put it across now? Like all they just need to do is to just guess. You get. That's why most times when you want to hack somebody, they first of all try to learn your patterns. Just like what Williams was trying to explain. You actively put your information online so they can trace you. Now, let me give one example. Something happened to me about 2 years ago. That was during COVID-19 era. Now I was where I was living. We had the main gate, we had another gate. In fact, that was one of the reasons why I took that house, because there were 2 gates. Now, during COVID-19, my neighbors, they are lecturers. 3 of them traveled, so we're only 2 in the compound. Now I go to work every day and you come back in the evening. My neighbor, man and wife, man goes to work, woman is most times at home. So we didn't have any issue. But that morning, I didn't know the woman was about to travel. The woman traveled that morning. When I came back in the evening, I saw that they had entered my house and taken some things. Now, can you just imagine, as in there was no even space. So it means that when I was analyzing, because I couldn't even sleep in the house, when I got home, I was like, how do people watch somebody like this? It wasn't even the following day. So it means that they had been trying to, I don't know if you understand, they were just looking for that loophole. It's just a breach, because what hackers use is the breach that you leave available for them. Now, look at this now. These are what most people use. Some people use their phone numbers as their passwords. Some people use their first child. Some people use their car. Now you're dealing with people that don't have anything else to do. Their thoughts day and night is how to hack someone. So it's easy for them. When you put your personal information online, you are just giving them what to make use of. So now let's come here. Look at okay, some of this information, like people use the same passwords for, I'm coming to this place. People use the number 5. People use the same password for both work and personal accounts. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is still used by 23 million account holders. You see, can you just see? It's just so easy. It's just so easy for people. So I'm not going to talk about what you're going to do about password. That one will be done by the next person. People use I love you, and most times it's women that make use of that particular password. So now, let me quickly, I'm going to wrap up with how hackers get access to people's accounts. Now, they make use of spyware. Spyware is like having a camera attached to your phone. So, and most times these things just hide in your phone like a parasite. You know, when they were teaching us parasites in biology, how someone will just have tapeworm just attached to the person's intestine. You will not know, you will not feel it until when something happens. So that most times they are able to get these things through websites that you visit. You know, sometimes you could visit a website and then just hear, you have won 1 million, spin and win, lottery, your phone has a virus. If you click on that thing, your phone is gone. They will just, you're not the only person using your phone. That is just it. You're not the only person using your phone. Somebody is now sharing your phone with you. Now, imagine you having to use your phone with someone else. Means that all your credentials, anything you are doing, the person is seeing it. And easiest way for you to know that someone else is sharing your phone with you is maybe battery draining. As you would see it, your battery will just go, high use of data and all that. So I move to the next one. We have voice phishing. You know, some people rely on caller ID. When someone calls, yes, Truecaller is somehow effective, but your Truecaller can be spoofed such that they can tweak it, you understand? And then they could call you and start saying, oh, I am from DSTV, I'm from MTN and all that. I'm seeing something in the, yes. Thank you very much for that. So anybody who calls you and asks you for your personal data, maybe OTP that is sent. In fact, I have seen many people's accounts being cleared by OTP. They are the ones that will send that OTP to you, to the victim. Let me not say to you. They will send the OTP to the victim. A friend of mine was called around 5 a.m. and they just called him, guy, no, they didn't even say guy, they called him like an official call. Before he knew it, they are taking his Facebook from him. So they call, that's voice phishing. They call your number and try to get an SMS or email OTP that they had already sent. Another thing is by you downloading from unauthorized sites, like Google Play already has Google Play Protect. So the apps are already there. Most of them are already secure. Apple does not even permit anything that is not even okay at all. So it doesn't even apply. So, but there's some sites, there's some apps like this GB WhatsApp. GB WhatsApp is a riskware. Although yes, relatively safe, but I really don't advise people to make use of GB WhatsApp because some of these apps, they have ways of stealing your data. There's a particular app, I don't want to mention it, but people were accusing them of taking out people's credit card information. They made over $100 million from it, from just taking $1 from their users. I don't want to mention that app. There's a reason why I'm not doing that. Then some people save their passwords on an Excel. They upload everything, put inside Excel, maybe store it inside cloud or store it on their phone. Hackers get access to that. That person's this thing has been taken over. Then spam mails. Spam mails is another way that they make use of, they try to get people. Then please, I would advise us, please, if you can, like just like William said, if any account, any site that you have logged into, for example, now let's say you needed to do something at a particular site and you don't need their services anymore, probably you can take the time to close your account. Request that your account again is closed, because if those people are breached, forget it. Those people are they're taking over your system. Okay, trying to get back into the meeting. William, I don't know if you can assist Sebastian. He said he's trying to get back into the meeting. Then Now, sometimes now, let's say you could type your show you your LinkedIn ID, to show your Instagram ID, you understand? So please, I would advise us to please check our profile on Google. Then yes, posting your pictures online too is a way of people. For example, now you could take your picture. Most pictures have a geographic tag on it. It's called a geo tag. So you just take a selfie at the front of your door, click, and you put it online. Anybody who is ready for you can be able to tag and get exactly where you took that picture. Now, these things we are saying is not because we are saying, oh, don't snap selfie again. No. We're just trying to say that these are the means by which hackers are able to access people. So I think I'm done majorly for myself. So William spoke about cookies. Yes, cookies, in fact, cookies is just a way that companies have people's data, organizations have people's data. Most times they use it for advertising, although they will not tell you, but it's to know your preference. That's why if you observe any store you visit, anything you check, before you know it, you start seeing that kind of advert either on Truecaller, you see it on Facebook. Have you observed that if you are listening to, like I observed something now, this recent thing that happened with Osinachi, since I listened to one or two videos, if I just open Facebook watch, next thing you see is all her, anything that is relating to her. But me, I understood, so I wasn't really bothered. If I save anybody's number, I chat the person on WhatsApp, before you know it, I'll see the person's name, add friend on Facebook. So it's, cookies should not be something that is bad, but hackers make use of it. So I think at this point, I would stop and maybe I'll take questions, and maybe the next person can talk about his own. Sebastian, are you there? Because I'm sharing my screen, I won't be able to. Okay, I was going to show some things. Oh, there's no time. There's no time. Please, I'll share this link with you. Please, you can put your email here to know whether you have been, whether your information has been involved in a breach before. Okay, please, can you see my screen? I'm showing my Google page. You can put your phone number. Now, this is my, please, am I audible?
Yeah, very
Yes,
much.
you are. Please go ahead. Go ahead. You are.
Okay, now if you can see this site, I'll see share it in the group. You can see this is my personal email address. Now you can see that my email has been involved in data breaches. That is, hackers try to get into, in fact, they were able to even get in across to information, and my email appeared 3 times already. So I'll share this link. There's one I wanted to quickly share with us. Okay, so now this is a site that we used to know how many attacks have been carried out. Now, like today, as at now, 8:08, the number of cyber attacks that has been done is 612. Okay, it's even increasing by the minute. So what we are doing here now is not a joke. We just really want you to know that yes, it's happening and anybody can be a victim. I tried this thing, get out. Okay. Okay, please confirm if you can still see my screen. Okay, I can see that it's showing.
Yeah,
so now,
you can see your screen.
Yeah, now I'm trying to hack into a camera, a live camera. Now you can see these people probably they didn't change their default password or whatever. You can see this is a live camera now. For example, someone wants to carry out crime here. It's just to change the credentials or just change the IP or pick the IP, because from here, I can get the IP of this place. You can see the IP boldly showing here. And I can come here, IP location, and just get, this is the IP of my phone actually. I didn't want to put I converted it to a public IP so that I won't put my private IP online. You don't know who is who. So you can try it on your own. Pick this IP from here, come here, you'll be able to know. So you see, the essence of everything I'm showing you is just to let people know that these things are real and they happen. So I always ask people, if a hacker attempts you, how secure are you? How secure will you be able to survive it? Let's say someone just say, okay, this person, it's not as if they know you personally. No, they don't know you personally. But when they pick up data, when they want to carry out a cyber attack, as you can see now, as it's going on now, as people are in their houses, from wherever, you can see that cyber attack is going on steady. So if an attack comes to you, how are you going to be able to stand? Like when I gave an example of my house was burgled, I know the breach, I know what happened. I know what happened. I felt I was secure with that gate, but there was a place they were using to climb that I didn't even know. It took me 1 year for me to know how those people broke into my house. So I think I should just wrap up here, because if you leave me, I can talk from now till this thing, because this is a topic that I'm actually very, very passionate about. So, Sebastian, I think you have the floor now. I'll be sharing Sebastian's screen. I'll stop mine and share his own.
All right. Thank you so much. Once again, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. Welcome. Thank you so very much. That was insightful. Now, if you haven't come to the conclusion yet so far, that once you are online, you are already a target, then I would bring it to your remembrance or to your memory so we can commit it to memory. So once you are online, you already are a target. And what we are doing here today, like she mentioned earlier, is to help you prepare yourself, either to prevent attack from happening or to respond swiftly and rightly when it does. Because one of the challenges that we have in this part of the country is that when we are being attacked on the cyberspace, there is little knowledge on what to do or where to go to. All right. So this would be in phases. But as for today, there are just little that we can take. So right into it, I will be talking about safeguarding your assets. Okay, safeguarding your assets online. So, but I just need to establish a fact from everything that you have heard so far. We're talking about cybersecurity, yes. So a lot of you may not really know what cybersecurity is or haven't given it so much attention. So cybersecurity is basically all the efforts, all right, all the steps that we take to protect our individual organizations or the government from digital attacks, by protecting networked systems and data from unauthorized use or harm. Now, like both speakers have spoken, it is our responsibilities as individuals to protect ourselves, to safeguard our identity and our data. And lastly, our computing devices. The other parties involved in cybersecurity are organizations and the government. And like Becky said, we cannot talk about them or on their behalf, as we may not be directly involved in all the efforts that they put in to protect data, but we can take responsibilities for ourselves because in this new age and time, as more digital information is being gathered and shared online, the protection of data becomes more vital and of a necessity. All right, please, you can go to the next slide. Thank you. All right, I guess I have to be calling you for that. Okay. So basically, there are two types of data that needs protecting. Yeah, I've spoken about this, so we can move further, continue. Okay, sorry, the previous slide. So there are two types of data that we need to protect. We have the offline and the online identity. Now, for your offline identity, these are your real life persona that you present on your day-to-day basics at home and school, at work, everywhere. And this identity gives people personal information about you, which include your name, your age, your address, just about the basics of your existence as a person. Now, we already have established that once you have visited any web page or we've gone on the internet or have any social media, then you already have a digital footprint. So your online identity is not just your name or your email or your social media account or what have you. Now, this is who you really are in today's world. This is all about you. And this is what you present to this global community, right? And as such, it needs to be protected. So a lot of times what we advise is that you should take out time to scrutinize the informations that you make available online. Like she earlier mentioned, someone just takes a picture and chilling in the Bahamas and he posts online, not knowing or not weighing the disadvantages of doing that. We're not saying you shouldn't, but then you have to be cautious of what you are sharing online, because more and more, these cyber criminals are becoming good at their job. New techniques are being developed every single day just to carry out their evil act. And you should know that anything of value, any information of value now is a target. And when it is wrongly or carelessly portrayed on the internet, then it can become someone's interest. All right. So we have established that. So please, let's move to the next slide. I would be quite fast because the time is fast spent. So try as much as possible to get what you can get. All right. So in talking about what we need to do in safeguarding our assets, the first is SIM locks. All right. So we'll be talking about SIM locks. Now, these are functions that have been provided by internet service providers, for us to protect our SIM. Now, a situation happened just a few days ago where I stay. Someone went to the market and his phone was taken. Now, they withdrew all the monies that were in his bank account. Why? Because his SIM wasn't protected. It wasn't locked. So now this SIM lock feature gives you the ability to lock your SIM with a desired password, such that anytime your phone goes off and on, this password or PIN is required to unlock your SIM. Now, if someone should pick up your SIM or you misplace it somewhere, without that password or PIN, nothing can be done on your SIM, all right? And for it to be recovered, there are security questions. So even if you contact your the person contacts the internet service providers, there are security questions that still protect this PIN. So it is important that you safeguard your SIM cards with a lock, a PIN, so as to protect yourself from these frauds that are ongoing. Okay, so for both iOS and Android users, if you want to generate or activate these SIM lock on your phones, you just go to settings, network settings, and activate. So it will require you to input a password of choice, and please make your password complicated, not just any sequence that can be easily identified by cyber criminals. Okay, so I would answer more questions moving forward, but let's go to the next one. The next one is the two-factor authentication, or the OTP we get. Now, this is a feature that safeguards our informations or sites or our apps, such that we require an additional layer of security for authentication. Okay. Now, it makes it very difficult for someone to gain access into your personal devices or online accounts, because if the victim password or your password is hacked, then the two-factor authentication comes into play. All right. Now, there are different aspects of this. I will not go so much into details with this, but you can activate them on your social media accounts, on the sites that you visit, your bank apps, and any place of valuable information that you have. All right. So you should protect your data, protect your information, and most importantly, protect your money. Okay. So let's go further. The HTTP sites. Now, when you are browsing the internet or surfing the internet, ensure that any site you visit is protected or is using the hypertext protocol security active or is enabled. Why? So that you don't fall a victim. Like she mentioned earlier, there are mirrored links or deceptive links that look identical to the frequent sites that we visit. So one of the ways you could do to keep yourself safe is to always ensure that the site you are visiting is secured. So for most people on their browsers, you would see a padlock-like sign by the left-hand corner of your screen. Now, this is to show that the site you are visiting, it has some level of security, although it doesn't prevent hackers, but at least, all right, it minimizes the threat level coming from such sites. And if you have had the two previous ones active, then this is also an additional layer of security for you to safeguard your information online. So before I move further, I just want to get feedback. Are we together? Are we following? Am I too fast? How is it like?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, we're fine, right? All right, that's good. Okay, so the next one is a password vault or a password generator. Now, if you are like me, then you have or you visit a lot of sites every single day. And sometimes the struggle is to remember the password you use for such places that you visit. So what I have resolved in doing is that I have just a number of passwords spread across all the sites that I visit. Okay. Although that may be risky, okay, because once hackers are able to get one password to a site or password to one site, then they can access all sites if you use the same password across all the sites that you visit. So, but what this password vault does, aside from protecting your passwords, it also generates unique passwords for you for different sites, and it saves and store them within the vault. Okay, so once you are trying or re-accessing this site, the passwords just comes up. Okay, but it is secure to you. Except a person have access to your vault, then your passwords are uncompromised. Okay, they're uncompromised. So the password vault helps you to safeguard all your passwords across all platforms and all encryptions that you have for your documents. Okay, so I guess that is clear. So we quickly move to the next one. My slide person, I need you to be fast. All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, so that's a picture of the password vault. It puts everything together in one-stop location. Healthcare data. We'll talk about it in our subsequent webinar. It's a very important aspect that you need to secure. All right, so we go to antivirus. Now, okay, please, next slide. For many of you, I am sure that these names are a bit familiar. McAfee, Adverse, and the rest of them. So these are, it's okay, it's fine. We can move forward. It's fine. So antivirus, they also protect you from online threats, software breaches. Okay, so its work is to identify and correct any weakness found in your computer system. All right, so but the main function is for it to scan, to detect, to prevent, and to remove any existential threat to your computers. Okay, now I know a lot of you don't like installing antivirus because you don't know which one to trust. Okay, but from the previous screen, you would see that there mentioned just a few that you can trust and you can use. Okay, so always ensure that you give yourself the best chance of protection when it comes to securing your data. Because the truth is, nobody is going to do it for you if you don't get involved in the process. All right, so let's move forward to the next one. For those of you who like to share your Wi-Fi passwords or hotspot your devices from the home or from the house, then this, or the offices, then this will or might interest you. So it is the, excuse me. So it's the Wi-Fi protected access. Now, this is a security function for wireless networks. Sorry, previous slide. Thank you. So let's just look at it. All right. So it is meant to protect your data and your network access. So individuals without these passwords that you've enabled for your wireless connections cannot have access to your data or the deeper part of it, which we would not discuss so much today. So, but it provides you a high level of assurance that only authorized users can use your wireless networks. I am sure this is very, very clear. Thank you. Let's move to the next slide. Now here, we want you to make it difficult. so as if all these 5 steps have been compromised, what other layer can you have? Make it difficult. Now, in terms of selecting your passwords, don't just use alphabets all through or use numbers all through like she had shown us earlier. You know, the most used password in the world is I love you. Come on. Come on. Who does that? Okay. So, because the truth is, when your devices or information is at risk, what do? You have to ensure that the layers of security that you employ for or in safeguarding your data is high. You know, give the hackers a tough time when it comes to you. Several times I have had security threats notifications come to me. But one of the issues I think hackers have not been able to do or deal with is my passwords. My passwords are really, really, really complicated. They are simple, but super complicated. It would take a number of years to decode. I'm going to share a picture that helps you in putting together passwords for protecting your digital informations or protecting yourself online. Okay, so next slide, please. We are almost done, so we're rounding up. Okay, she already talked about this, so I wouldn't dwell on it so much, but this is just another aspect used by cyber criminals. Next slide. So we can round up. Next slide. So yeah, she already had spoken about this. Okay, but then whatever you do, ensure that whatever you share online, you are able to weigh the security risks attached to it. Is it worth it? If it's not worth it, then drop it. Because truth is, every single information online is worth something to someone. And there are people, a lot of people, organizations, companies, governments that are willing to trade just any amount of money for the information that they can gather about people. A lot of social engineering has happened in the past and is already ongoing, you know, that comes from such occurrences. Yes, data is currency in the new world that we live in. So ensure that whatever you put out there, you weigh the risks involved. Let's go to the next slide. Next slide. Okay. So we're almost done. Next, please. Okay. Yeah, so it seems information available online is free, but privacy is the price we all have to pay, you know, our privacy. Next slide, please. So we can just round this up. So I just itemized some key points you should consider to protect your data and safeguard your account. You should always read the terms of service when registering for a new service and decide whether the service is worth waiving your right to your data for. Okay, I know a lot of us don't read all those data policies. We just sign up. But a lot of times in doing that, we give these sites, you know, the utmost authority to use all the informations that we provide them for their own gains. Okay, so always ensure that before you get on a site, you read the terms of service to keep yourself abreast with what your data or what your information is being used for. Okay, so select your own privacy setting rather than just accepting defaults. Now, limit the group of people you share content with and review the service provider's security policy to understand what you are doing to protect your data. Change your passwords periodically, as often as you can, as frequent as you can. Rotate your data, your passwords and your two-factor authentication to secure your account at all time. Okay, at all time. Next slide. So I am sure that we all have heard stories about cyber criminals or have even fallen a victim from their schemes. But you should know that they are not just after money. They are after anything of value, just about anything of value. So, and all of these commodities can be traded on the dark web. Now, there is, like I mentioned earlier, there is always someone willing to pay just about any amount of money for your personal data. We're going to talk about your healthcare details in our subsequent webinars. All right, so let's move on. Next slide. We are rounding up. So advantages of cybersecurity, all right? So to protect yourself from hacks and viruses, help keep your browser safe, internet security, process the incoming and outgoing of data. You also help it. The knowledge of cybersecurity would also help us from or safeguard ourselves from critical attacks. All right. So one of the things we're going to do in subsequent webinars is to tell you what you need to do immediately you suspect or fall a victim of an attack. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so we have spoken majorly about this, but then always use antivirus, insert firewalls, uninstall unnecessary softwares. Now, there are a lot of people I have noticed have, I wouldn't say thousands, but hundreds of apps on their phone and they don't use them. They have a lot of softwares on their phones, on their devices that are not of use to them. Always ensure that you do away with all of those, okay? And be careful when you run updates. Always read about what is being updated, okay? Always read about what is being updated before you run a system or app or whatever update that you need to do. Now, never give your full name and address to strangers. We cannot overemphasize that. A lot of cases of kidnaps, assassinations, and all of those have come out from such occurrences. And you should always take advantages of webinars like this to learn more about your internet privacy and your security. Okay, so I think with all of this, I have come to the end of my presentation and I would await your questions. Thank you so much for listening.
Wow. Thank you. So I want to say I can't say we've come to the end though. Please, I want to hear if anybody. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Thank you so much, William, and thank you so much, Rebecca, for these presentations. So please, I would like to know if any of us have questions, please. And again, when you had I'm sure everybody came with an expectation. Please, is there any other thing that you feel that we've not addressed yet?
Well, hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I would like to start by saying that I'm quite impressed with what I've seen. Very crucial areas of discussions, especially in the area of security. Well, quickly, let me introduce myself, Dr. Balamodi. My background is in network intrusion detection systems, generally hardware network solutions. So I want to say that, when you're looking at for example, although justice has been made by Sebastian in some way and Williams and of course Rebecca, looking at the issue of the 4 horsemen, which we call the 4 horsemen of electronic apocalypse, let me put it that way. First published by ACOC. He identified certain areas like spam, bugs, DOS, malicious software. I think people in your subsequent presentations, they need to know a little bit of that. Spamming, of course, we have discussed it. I don't have to repeat on that. These are unsolicited and unsubscribed emails that just flood your accounts and everything. And of course, I think Williams mentioned you don't have to trust that. Bugs, of course, stall execution of installed software. So when you're installing some softwares, you can actually create insecurity yourself without knowing, by default, of course. Denial of services usually is on the network. It just slows down the network and just ground it. So even the authorized resources are actually denied in services, which could also be in real time, and that could be dangerous. Things like flash schedules and things like that can really be affected. So we would like to know more on those. We've spoken on malicious software, of course, but particularly I want to talk about this just briefly, if you don't mind. We've spoken on the viruses, which remain dormant until executed. We've spoken about worms, which I'm not so sure was captured, but I think you can make justice to that when next you're talking. But particularly, let me just quickly go down since there's no time to spyware. I just want to say something on this. Of course, it was mentioned that, the passwords and the usernames, the first level authentications are really something that we need to worry about, get it strong. Williams, I think Sebastian made justice to that, but I want you to actually elaborate on keyloggers next time you're talking. This is one of the key flaws we're having when it comes to cybersecurity. A lot of people don't know that sometimes, I think Rebecca mentioned when you put your camera in strategic locations, you can actually expose your key strokes. And sometimes it's also a keylogger, hidden like a normal software, and you install it without knowing, and then it's a keylogger. Every key you press on your keyboard is actually giving away your password. Hello, I hope I'm not talking to myself, Rebecca.
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So I think that is something you need to do more justice to that when next you're talking, so that people need to know more on how to protect themselves regarding that. And then, of course, the spyware, the adware, which is another dangerous thing. Adverts pop up, and you just trust some of them, and you click, and actually it's an adware, and usually adware is target market focused advertisements, and that could actually redirect a user to very dangerous sites and things like that. I don't know about hybrids, droppers, blended threats. Maybe next time, if I have time, I'll talk about those. But finally, let me just give a few tips on how to actually help secure, some of the resources we use on the internet. And one of those is actually identifying the man-in-the-middle attack, Trojan horses to be particular. This looks like the real thing, and sometimes there's no way of knowing whether it's the real thing or not. But of course, looking at URL, one is to really ask for example, if it's a bank, you need to really get the authentic link from the bank. Don't just get it from a third-party source. So that once you have that, even if you are redirected, once the URL changes, you can identify that this is not what I'm supposed to be dealing with first. And one thing that can also help you to know whether you're dealing with the right site or not is to have something like an add-on. Particularly myself, I use what we call the Norton Safe Web. So what it does automatically is to tick sites or that are actually authentic. So it takes it as green. If it's harmful but not dangerous, it takes it as amber or sometimes yellow. And if it's actually dangerous, it just takes it as red. So I don't need to even click that link. Automatically, I know this is a dangerous site, so I don't need to go there. So I think this is something that users need to really have. It's a useful tool. It just tells you whether it's a safe site to go to or not, actually, the first site. The last thing I want to mention, apart from the other weaknesses that are technical, which maybe next time I'll talk about, buffer overflows, integer overflows, and so on. I just want to talk about the human weakness, actually. Of course, I've mentioned some things on that, but I just want to mention a few vulnerabilities that are actually attributed to the human weakness. One of those is has to do with the original, default passwords. Sometimes there are even software that expose you. You have a software, it's the default password, you just install it and leave it as a default. It's actually a dangerous thing to do. And sometimes it's because it's improperly configured. It's a partially installed software, and before you know it, it opens a back door, and it's dangerous to your system. But I think most effectually is the exposure to your first level and second level of authentication. So once you bypass the first level, which of course is the obvious one, your password and your ID, I think it is a need, like I think Sebastian mentioned, to actually have the second level, which definitely is a two-step verification. And then you get the OTP comes in. But sometimes you have lost your phone, so you have to be careful. When resetting, you don't reset when your phone is with someone else, because it sends the OTP there and the person gets it, and voila, he's in. So I think other than that, the other things I may have, I'll talk about it when next we talk about these things. But I think you've made justice basically to cybersecurity, and this is quite impressive. I'm really happy, and I'm hoping that once you have this recording sent to us, I'm going to send it to as many people that need to get access to this. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity, Erica, and the rest of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so honored that you were able to create time to be here. So I think in wrapping up, because I don't want this meeting to exceed 9 o'clock, because there's tomorrow and we have to. So just to wrap up, there are some links I will put on the group for those that are on the group. But I want us to take note of these things. I'm just going to go through everything again in just less than 5 minutes. First and foremost, once you are online, you are a target. Some people already feel that, how much do I have in my account? Who am I? Who knows me? You'll be surprised that what you think is nothing is hot cake for hackers. And why do they want that? They want to steal your identity, and they also want to steal your money. So I also spoke about the different ways that hackers will be able to access your account, access your identity, and I'm not going to go back to that. And Sebastian did justice to the safeguarding of your assets. So I'm just going to say this in closing. There are some things I will share with us. Just like Doctor said, he said he makes use of nothing. I've never used nothing before. I make use of Webroot. I use Webroot for my phone and for my system. I've not used nothing before. So probably I'll post the link to get your nothing antivirus. There's also a particular app that is used against spyware. I think is Search and Destroy. I'll send the name on the link so that you can download it and activate it. It will check. But I think from what Doctor said, I think this nothing should be able to, nothing and antivirus should be able to do everything. So I also send for Facebook two-factor, you can make use of a code generator. Facebook itself has a code generator, but at the same time, you can have what we call Google Authenticator. Google Authenticator will help you when you want to log into your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook. This is just my advice. You can have that, or you can link your two-factor authenticator to your own, either to your email or to come to you as an SMS. Like for me now, if I'm going to log into anything Gmail outside my phone, it will prompt me on my phone. I must authorize it on my phone. So nobody can just hack into my phone just like that. Then lastly, no, not lastly. Also, I also advise us, please, if you're someone that has different email addresses, you can have different email. Try to segment your email addresses. Like for me now, most of if I'm going to do anything serious, I have a particular email I use for professional things. I have a particular email I use for all those social media and all that. So like, for example, now if you send me, I've seen so many LinkedIn emails in that other email. And I know I don't even need to check it 2 times. I know that is already spam mail because I never, ever mix the 2 of them. If I'm going to log into any site, I have the email I use for professional stuff. I have the emails I use for anything that is play. Let me put it in that code. Then I'll share password vaults. Password vaults. If you have stored your passwords in Google, please, I will advise you, save them as CSV, in a CSV file, get a password vault. I will share the password vaults and I'll share them on the group, the different types. You can make your choice. Some are paid, some are free. So what you will just need to do is just upload that CSV file there. That's all your passwords from Google. You just upload it there. It will store it for you. The only thing you need is just a master password for you to be able to access that password vault. So I think generally, I think that's what I can give so that we'll just wrap up for the day. So please, I don't know if anybody has anything to say, any questions, anything that you feel we have not dealt with or dealt on, please. Hello.
Hi, we are here.
Is there anything can anybody say anything? At least let me hear from other people. Is there anything that you feel you want us to say or not say so that we can just wrap up? I'll share some things to us. I already promised I will do that.
Yeah. Hello, Rebecca.
Yes, sir.
So like I said, it would be nice to have this recording, please, so that we can reach as many audience as possible by sending the links to them.
Yes,
I think
sir.
that would be a very, very nice education for a lot of people.
I'll do just that.
Yeah.
Okay, please, is there any difference between HTTP and HTTPS sites in terms of safety? Does accepting cookies affect security on the internet? Wait, I'm coming. Let me read down. Please, I'm trying to scroll down the chat so I can see your question, Dr. Funshaw. Just give me some few seconds. You asked about the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. Yes, there's a difference between the 2 of them. HTTPS and HTTPS is like a secure lock, is a secured layer. It has an extra protection. That's an extra protection that HTTP site doesn't have. And that's why we always tell you that if you're going to log into a site, okay, no, let me not go into that. If you're going to log into a site, it's called HTTPS. In fact, I would advise on your browser, activate enhanced protection so that once you click on any site that is not HTTPS, it will show you, it will already show you that this site you're trying to access is not secure. So I hope that answers your question. And accepting cookies, I don't accept cookies for all sites. So this is just my own personal belief. I don't accept cookies for all sites. I don't. This is just me because some cookies they're just there to monitor you. That's just the summary of what cookies is for. So me, I don't accept cookies on all sites. Then the last one, robot checks. Robot checks is done majorly by Google. It's just to confirm that it's not a robot. So there's no, it's not, I think it's called captcha or something. It's not It's not a security breach. It's not. Sebastian, you want to talk on this? Because I think you're the one who handled this this segment. Hello, Sebastian, are you there? Sebastian is not online. Maybe network has not walked him out of the group. It's okay. So, Dr. Fusha, does this answer your questions? Okay. Please, do we have any other answers? Any other questions, please? Okay. Mr. Mohammed, Madam Chioma, Mr. Solomon, Madam Tokbe, and Mr. Timothy. So I just assume that all of you are fine. Okay. Since no one is talking, I think we can just wrap up here. And Williams, do you have anything you want to add? Okay. What's been on?
Okay, go ahead. Take the question.
I'm seeing a question. What, I don't know who asked. Let me just scroll up a bit. Okay, what do we do when we keep getting some text? You can ignore them. You can also activate DND, do not disturb. Yes, it's better okay, I use Truecaller. Truecaller majorly blocks me.
Yeah, it tells you whether a message is spam or not. Truecaller or call app.
You said call app?
Yes, there is also call app.
Call app, okay. I use Truecaller. I don't want to take note of this call app, yes. So just ignore them. You can mark them as spam messages. And please don't click on them or even bother about them.
Most especially links that are forwarded to you on WhatsApp, you will see forward of the forwarded message by some people keep forwarding message that there are grants or something from the federal government or Mortina, Coca-Cola is celebrating anniversary or anything. You don't click those links. Like Rebecca said, you verify from Virus Total and other platforms. Verify links before you open. Then she talked about it explicitly. Some of these cookies, they are not actually to only give you updates. Some of them are platforms for whereby hackers get to steal your information. Please, let's try to avoid. I think that's basically all. And you've already done justice to the HTTPS about being prepared. Thank you.
Hi, Rebecca. Hello?
Please go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah, I was about to run out, so I was thinking whether I should just take permission.
I think we'll be close the meeting. Yes. Yes, sir. The meeting has ended now. I think it's fine too.
Okay, the meeting has ended, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, I think somebody asked something on HTTPS and that. I think this basic difference is just encryption. One is encrypted, one is not already. Using the TLS and the SSL, that's just it. TLS stands for transport layer security, and then the SSL stands for secure socket layer, thing layer security. So just basically, it's encryption. Thank you very much. So guys, I'll be running out. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I'll send more links on it. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you too.
Okay.
I believe you guys got value. Please don't forget to share the links you talked about.
Okay, I will even send a survey link for us to please.
Yeah, I think you should send it to the WhatsApp group.
Yes, please rate this meeting if you got value in this meeting.